Thank you, everybody, for joining. My name is Tim Yeager, and I am the Western Sales Director for ELPRO Technologies. We also have on the line Brian Cunningham, who is Director of Customer Support and also a field engineer. This is going to be the first in a series of industry-specific webinars, and it is going to be how wireless and ELPRO are being used within these industries. Please, by all means, if you have questions, put them into the question box, and we will answer those at the end. And at the end, please send us your feedback of what we can do to change or improve these webinars, or what you liked and didn't like. So with that being said, let's get started. So today's webinar is going to focus on communication solutions for the water and wastewater industries. The agenda for today are the issues facing the water industries, applications within the water industry where wireless is available and effective, why ELPRO Technologies for your wireless communications, real world deployments, and then questions as well. Sorry, I'm having a little, there we go. Issues facing the water industry right now. And what I did is I went into the AWWA and looked up a bunch of issues that are facing them, and I came across a top 20 list of issues facing the water industry in 2021. And what I did is I highlighted the ones where ELPRO has a solution for them. And as you can see, there's everything in this list, ranging from money to aged infrastructure, to the new threats out there, both cyber and premise threats. So what I'm going to do is address the ones where I think ELPRO has a viable solution for. So obviously we can help replace the aging infrastructure on the communication side. Also the emergency preparedness, help with the aging workforce and anticipated retirements by automating processes at these within water wastewater. Compliance within current regulations. This is in regards to both local, state, and federal regulations, groundwater management and overuse. Sorry. Compliance with future regulations. So we definitely can work with the regulations that are coming out. The cybersecurity issues that we have seen on pipeline attacks, asset management, so you can manage all of your inventory and other assets that you have out there. Water conservation. By having automation, you'll be able to conserve water and efficiency. Data management. We are seeing an increase of demand for data from various departments along the same network, and we can help through MQTT and other measures to be able to provide that information. And water loss control. And again, as you upgrade your sensor networks and get real-time information, you can react to leaks, outages, and other issues in a more timely manner. Common applications where wireless is deployed in water wastewater networks. So the types of applications can be narrowed down to two main types: improved in operational efficiencies and enabling additional control and communications. So with water pump automation, you would be able to get more information and control those better through remote communications. And you would also be able to do the same thing with remote leaks and shutdowns if you do have a leak of a system. Automated water sampling and reporting will also give you better communications on there, and remote control through automation of assets that are a distance away instead of having to drive out there. Some improved operational efficiencies would be perimeter security. Since water wastewater is now considered critical infrastructure, perimeter security and video surveillance are mandatory on those facilities. Remote tank level monitoring and sensor to the RTU or PLC telemetry information, being able to get that again to give you and your customers a better flow of information and be able to control your environment better. So an example of this would be remote pump station monitoring. Water district needs to upgrade their infrastructure so they can monitor these pumps remotely as opposed to having to send somebody out there. In the US, 900 megahertz, unlicensed 900 megahertz is the standard to deploy on some of these. Some agencies decide that they want to do a licensed version of this, and we do have that option available. But by deploying unlicensed IO radios, we were able to improve employee efficiency, increase diagnostic capabilities, and increase the overall performance of the facility and reduce operational costs. Wireless monitoring over a long distance. A large city needs to monitor their infrastructure, and they've decided to go with a wired line and a wireless deployment to give them this information. Where they already had wired assets, we were able to work with them to get that into the same SCADA system that they are using on their wireless. Why ELPRO Technologies for wireless? We've been doing this for 35 plus years, leading the industrial wireless IO and solutions for water, wastewater globally. Our radios are simple to install and commission and to manage. We have an expansive network of products out there, so we are able to offer a solution for many different types of issues that are out there. And we can provide enhanced reliability because our radios are designed to be rugged and to be in industrial environments. Real world deployments. So this is where we're going to get into deployments where you can actually see how the radios are going to be used or are being used and where it can help in the water wastewater networks. So we have flexible layouts depending upon the requirements of your customers on this. We can do simple IO transfer from a 4 to 20 on one side to the other. We can do PCL protocol conversions, example using Allen Bradley's PLCs, also being able to manage Schneider PLCs all on the same network. Hybrid combinations of both, where you have IO that you need to control, but also you need to do some protocol conversions within those. Simple Ethernet pass-through or wireline replacement, where our radios can be deployed very quickly as either a backup to supplement an existing Ethernet run or fiber run, or to replace one that is there. Hybrid combinations of everything that we're talking about with an IO transfer and then passing Ethernet traffic. So we can do all of those in a single network as well. We can also add another layer by providing cellular backhaul to networks that may not be able to be reached through the terrestrial wireless way. And we can aggregate terrestrial wireless into a single cellular backhaul or reduce the number of cellular backhaul, so you will reduce your monthly charges on cellular. Here's an example of one of the ones that we did. This commission needed to be able to control their sluice gates over 150-mile length of residential networks, where they were actually depending on those sluice gates to prevent any flooding into the residential areas. At the same time, Homeland Security now considers water, wastewater, critical infrastructure, so you need to be able to encrypt your data. We were able to encrypt it at 256-bit, which is state-of-the-art encryption. And to provide redundancy, we were able to build a meshing network to make sure that they always had as much uptime as possible. What we ended up deploying was 72 915 radios plus 4G cellular modems. We were able to reduce deployment costs by allowing them to use legacy control hardware using Modbus and a DNP3 gateway. We generated the highest uptime due to being able to do multi-protocol support and providing a transition from their legacy SCADA network to a clear SCADA network. And we were able to do flexibility, show some flexibility with them by able to use a common off-the-shelf IoT platform and connect it through wireless, cellular, and fiber connectivity. And what this all generated was reduced travel time to remote sites for them to do diagnostics and troubleshooting, and allowing remote access to the network. So when they deployed somebody, it was to fix a problem, not to diagnose what that problem was. In Leon, Mexico, is another water district that we worked with. Services over 1 million people, has over 100 water wells and 9 water tanks. 19 different pumping sites, and various departments were requiring various types of information. So they were going to these sites more than once. And what we were able to do is give them a common platform that everybody could use. We upgraded the platform so it was much more reliable, and enabled them to monitor and control remote operations from a single platform. Multiple manufacturers of sensors and PLCs we brought into a single network. And again, we increased their efficiencies in both saving them time and money to modernize that facility. And after the deployment, Leon SAPAL is now considered the state-of-the-art for Mexican water, wastewater. So we also have done other projects in other parts of the world. This one is one we did in Greece, and what we did is upgraded a serial network to an Ethernet network. But if you look at the map that is drawn, the heat map, you can see that it's a very complex network. So ELPRO can also expand and run into complicated and large networks without a problem. Another network upgrade we did, this was from an old network, and then we transferred everything over to a brand new ELPRO Ethernet network as well. And you see some pictures of the designs on there, with one of them showing some separation of some of the antennas, and then a basic network map that we did for them. This is a water district that we did in Spain. And if you look, we have various protocols that we are working with here, plus various PLCs, all brought back to a single control area on one homologated network. We can also integrate cellular with IO. On this network, the black box that's in the cabinet is the cellular modem, and then we are bringing in all of the IO and connecting into that cellular network for a backhaul. This is a design of standard design that you'll see in a municipal water wastewater network, where you have various gateways out there working with PLCs. You might have a lift station control, pump houses, all being brought back to a single area where you can control and monitor that network. This shows another design where you have remote wells out there, and we are able to control those wells from a simple single interface back at the control center. And we can also do multi-directional deployments as well, where a remote site is sending back information, and based on that information, start stops are transmitted back out to the remote sites. Some of examples of some of the other water districts and water wastewater that we've worked with. Rancho, California has over 100 of our 905U radios doing an Ethernet on there. City of Lethbridge has well over 35 of our radios on there. Vancouver has over 40. You look down in Argentina, we have over 600 of our cell modems deployed down there. Pine Brook, Colorado has 14 of our battery operated units deployed out there as well on the 415s. Brian, is there anything that you would like to add?
Just to kind of reiterate the experience that we now have in the water wastewater business. Literally having done, I would probably suggest in the thousands of water wastewater projects. It's a very significant portion of our business. And one of the virtues of ELPRO is that we do have so many different types of radios that if 900 megahertz isn't suitable, we have a 450 megahertz option. If cellular is preferred, we have cellular modems offered. So it's just the breadth of products and the breadth of experience, I think, are really what counts these days.